And that's so important, too, for any infielder, really for any player, but mostly infielders, because of all the different arm angles that you have to throw from. Some ground balls are going to dictate where you have time to step and throw in your natural arm slot. Other ones, you're going to have to rush, throw sidearm, sometimes even submarine, throwing as you're moving away from your target. There are so many different stresses that you put on an arm, especially in the infield, because of all of the different throws, the off-balance throws that you have to make.
It's easy to forget about that, all the different angles that you have. Oh, and he's got to come on back, 3-2.
Don't assume.
Nope.
It's a baseball no-no. Trying to sell it, though. This ball up and in, and Kim, little sell job here.
Close pitch. Could have gone one way or the other. Popped him up and out of play. It's a lot of newness for Ha-Sung Kim. New teammates, new double play partners, a whole new league to learn. There's a lot on his plate these days. Slow roller. He runs well up the line and beats it out.
It's going to take a perfect play by McKinstry to make that happen, and just not able to do it on the throw. Got there, spun, let it rip, but it was a little bit wide. Right off the end of the bat. That would have been really, really, really close if that ball is on the money. Ray's glad it wasn't.
All right, he's got a chance to run with Taylor Walls and nobody out. Brings the bunt with him, but it rolls foul.
Well, I like that idea. I was wondering if there was going to be a little gamesmanship going on there with Taylor Walls. He's one of the guys in this lineup that has shown that ability to drop down a bunt for a hit. Number of guys. Mangum can do it. Simpson can do it. Just an added element of surprise.
I think you and I are both in agreement that when the Rays were going 25-9 until this little 3-8 run, that the Rays could score runs so many different ways that while I can't say that they would have been immune to a slump, nobody is. But we thought it would be more of a long shot that they would go into a stretch like this because they can do so many different things offensively.
Well, think about it. During that 25-9 run, they were fourth in Major League Baseball in home runs. They were number one in stolen bases. They had to be way up there in sacrifice bunts, bunts for hits, just bunts in general. So they were showing the ability to score runs any way that you possibly can in this game. It was the most versatile offense. Over that 34-game span, it was the most versatile offense in Major League Baseball by a wide margin. Teams don't go that long of a period of time and be fourth in homers, first in stolen bases in Major League Baseball. It's usually one or the other. They were doing it all, not to mention the little things, small ball, taking the extra base.
And then on top of it, they were leading baseball in fewest runs allowed, and they just had it all rolling. Which leads you to believe that they can, this is a rough stretch. The baseball humbles you.
Yeah.
We all know that. But for all the reasons you're just saying, it does lead you to believe that it's going to come back offensively. This team will start to roll offensively again. But boy, when you're going through it, it's tough. Little pop fly by Walls for the first down.
I'd like to see his approach be more along the lines of Simpson Mangum.
Totally.
Maybe not quite to Mangum, because Mangum does. I don't know how he swings the bat sometimes to be able to put the ball in play. But thinking line drive, thinking top hand heavy, thinking line drive, because that would up his batting average and on base percentage. It would go way up, and then he's another guy that can hurt you on the base paths. But balls in the air,
it's not going to go well.
It's not.
In fact, I was looking it up. Sometimes they say that some players have just enough power to hurt themselves. Since he homered against the Twins on Sunday, which we're very glad that he did, every one of his outs has been in the air.
Ooh.
There's been a fly ball
Really?
to center or right center or left center. Every out. And that's really not his game.
Remember his stretch this year where he was at his best offensively. It was a lot of line drives and a lot of hard hit ground balls and an average over a few week span that was hovering right around 330, 320 in that range, and that's when is going to be at his most dangerous. You could get that guy offensively with what he does defensively. Oh, baby.
That is caught by the third baseman, Colt Keith, scampering back to first. Kemp.
And he shows you over that period of time that he's fully capable. He can do it.
Jansen stung this one.
Playing close to that line, able to read, react, and then put it away.
All right, so 2 out. Lineup turns over again with Kim at first. Here's Yandy Diaz. Kim starts and then stops towards the hole and juggled safe at second. Torres could not come up with a bouncing throw from McKinstry.
Boy, McKinstry not having the best of starts here defensively for the Tigers. Had a chance to make a really good play and a little bit of a wide throw on Ha-Seong Kim. Of course, had to play in the first inning where he tried to run right there.
Detroit is challenging a safe call at second base.
Wow.
Gleyber Torres was whistling, hey, you might want to take a look at this. That ball gets dropped. Did he get it back into the glove? He may have. I'd like to see that again, but that's going to be really, really close. It did not look that close in real time.
No, it didn't. That's an early time of the game for the Tigers to use this challenge. Their one challenge.
We'll go back to McKinstry. Had that play with Mangum in the first inning, trying to run him back to the bag instead of giving the ball up to Torkelson. The wide throw, and then that throw was cut way short. And I think the Tigers right there took a look at it on the big board and think that they got him, and I think that they probably do. Just cut that throw way short, in and out. But watch the recovery here by Torres. Quickly keeps his foot on the bag, smart, and is able to get that ball in the glove and secured. It looked like before Kim's foot got to the bag.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Detroit retains the challenge.
All right, well, hard to argue with. And the Tigers very fortunate. Torres with a heck of a play to stay with it.
Third baseman Jose Ramirez pulling out of the All-Star game. Now, Junior accepting that invite this morning to the Derby. Rays field coordinator Tomas Francisco will be throwing to him. And a chance for Junior to show off on the national stage. He said, I just want fans to see my power. It's going to be special. You know, Caminero was reminded by Cash of the standing ovation he got in Toronto in 2023 after the show he put on in BP. It might be the best BP memory I've ever witnessed, Cash said. I never heard of a visiting player getting that kind of reaction. Junior said, I hope to do what I did in Toronto, try to put on a show. Andy B.A., it'll be interesting to see if he gets the starting nod now on Tuesday.
Ryan, I have no question that he will absolutely put on a show.
And I don't have any question. I think that he'll start at third base. Especially, you talk about the bravado. He's already planning on putting on a show.
He's kind of built for this.
Yes, I think you're exactly right.
Now the pressure's on Tomas Francisco. Throw it where he wants. Fine play by Aranda. And there's one out. All right, here's the people that Junior will be battling with. Cal Raleigh of the Mariners. Glad he's in it, leading the world in homers. James Wood, the young fellow with the Nationals.
How about Cal Raleigh, the switch hitting catcher with 36 already? Just incredible what he's doing. And James Wood, the power that he has. Junior, and like you were talking about, that show that he put up in Toronto.
Good for Byron Buxton, too. 20 home runs for the Twins will be in there. Ronald Acuna Jr., who is a little banged up. Notice he only had 9. He's missed most of the year. I'm sure in Atlanta they wanted to be in it, but they want him to be healthy also. The batter is Spencer Torkelson. He's got 21 home runs. You know, the home run derby is a great thing. There's always the fear that could it mess up your swing. We've seen examples of that. But I think, too, now, a lot of the young guys coming up have already participated in a lot of home run derbies throughout their, whether it be minor league careers or back home in their home countries when they have some sort of a derby set up. So, I don't know. I think guys are a little more used to it now and know what they need to do to hit the home runs. I could be as wrong as I could be, but...
No, I think there's something to that.
Yeah.
I absolutely think that there's something to that. Pacing,
sure,
all of those things. And then when you get back into the regular season again, you get back into competitive games, you're not thinking home run. I don't think a lot of these guys, when they're hitting the home runs that they are in games, are thinking home run in that spot. They may from time to time know that the team maybe needs one, down a run in the in the ninth inning with 2 outs, and you're thinking, okay, I got to. But even then, when you talk to them and you ask them, they're like, no, I was just looking for a good pitch to hit and hit it hard. And the home runs come naturally.
Yeah.
I think that it can mess up your swing is if you get back into the regular season having just come off that and you're thinking home run.
Yeah.
That's typically when they dry up.
Just missed it. It's full 3-2. Well, we're all going to enjoy watching Junior there. Interestingly enough, Isaac Paredes, the former Ray and All-Star from a year ago, was added to the team with Ramirez of Cleveland pulling out. Fouled off. So it's still a bit of a fluid situation for participants of the All-Star game. I think Ray's hoping maybe Rasmussen could still get a piece of this thing. And maybe Yandy Diaz for that matter, too. Boy, he struck him out in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, he did. That's it's like a hybrid pitch. It registers as a slider. It's more of a cutter most of the time. And that's what this is here. And this is probably not exactly where Zach wanted it, but when you get the result, you take it.
How does that work if it's a middle of the plate like that?
The hitter misses it.
Yeah.
That's a pitch that when he goes back and takes a look at the video, he's going to say to himself, how did I not destroy that baseball? And be pretty upset that he missed it. And as a pitcher, you realize I love the result. I love the strikeout. I love the ball getting thrown around the horn. Can't make that mistake again. I probably won't be that lucky.
It worked that time. And then he jumps ahead 0-2 on McKinstry. I just heard that. Did you hear that fan?
No.
He was off in the distance, but the fan yells, "Hit the ball!"
Well, maybe he showed up for the 1 o'clock game.
That's
good. He's been tailgating.
He's been waiting.
Yeah.
Somebody to yell that since about 10 in the morning. Well, he hit the ball, but Mangum caught the ball. And it's 2 perfect innings for Zach Littell, 1-2-3 in the Rays. An autographed item from one of your favorite Rays players. Enter online at Rays5050.com. We'll go to the third with Aranda Caminero and Lowe due up. Rays scored 2 in the first against Reese Olson, and Littell's been perfect through 2. Two balls, no strikes. There you go. That says a lot.
It does say a lot. The average at 323. How about this one right down here? The average with runners in scoring position at 387. I mean, he's talked about him in the pregame show, and it feels like once the season got rolling, that average went up above 300. It has sat between 310 and 330, seemingly all season long. Just been so consistent. You know, have a tough game or two. Then he bounces right back with 3 or 4 good ones and just has maintained all season. And that's because he hasn't tried to do too much.
And there's another base hit.
And there's another pitch that was in that he was able to pull the hands through and then rip it through the hole. Right there, Reese Olson's shaking his head like, I cannot get it in there on him. You might want to stop trying to.
Look at that.
Well, you know what? No. I think he didn't get it in on him, but if you go back and you look from the center field camera where the setup of Rogers was, he was set up middle away. So Reese Olson shaking his head that I missed my spot.
Look how, I mean, that really is a spray chart.
It is. I mean, the 49, that's where the power is. So all the home runs to right field. Can drive the ball the other way.
He is out at second base.
What another nice play by Gleyber Torres. Tested again by McKinstry, and that throw being a little bit wide. But Gleyber Torres able to stay in contact with that bag. That ball sharply hit in the hole. McKinstry, backhand, tough throw, but some great job by Torres, and he kept that foot on there just long enough.
Right at the beginning, and then it comes off. Beautifully done by Elastic Man over there at second base. And there's one. And
saying off the bag. And Junior is saying, you know what? Go take a look at it. Take a look at it. It looked like Junior got there to beat.
through the middle. Oh, what a stop by Taylor Walls for the out.
Wow. Gold glove caliber, platinum glove caliber shortstop playing second base here in this ball game.
Entertainment. Were you into sports at all?
Not really. I didn't really get into sports until my sons were in Little League, and then I got really into sports because they became crazy baseball fans. And
so you weren't an athlete, but you played in the baseball movie. What's that look like?
Well, a lot of practice. Yeah, Brent Main was my coach on that one.
Into left, that's a base hit. Parker Meadows wants two. He is out.
Everyone calls for a replay now as soon as they get.
That's why everybody's looking at the dugout.
I'm safe. Give me the replay. Let's see if he got around the tag. Looked like the ball beat him.
Brent Main teach you to run like Parker Meadows here?
The line when I hit the double in that movie, and I got to tell you, it's really hard to hit a major league pitcher.
Yeah.
But when I finally did connect and hit that double, the announcer in the movie is like, Gosinski hasn't gotten on base since the Reagan administration. Pretty great line.
Oh, my goodness. 2 down here. Jake Rogers will bat. They do stick with the out. No challenge here. We're joined by John C. Reilly, who sang happy birthday to his friend Jack White. We had Jack in the booth at Coors Field.
Nice.
He had a show the next night and was there for the doubleheader for game 1 before the show.
Yeah.
We asked him, how late is the show? And he said the show starts when I go on stage, which we still think is the coolest thing that's ever been said in this booth. What don't people know about Jack? Everybody loves him here. What about Jack makes him such a good dude?
Well, he's a family guy. He's a really solid family guy. He cares so much for his kids. That's his priority. He always has family around. His mom is here today with him. Really sweet Detroit native herself. I think that's, you might not see that in Jack as a rock star, but he definitely focuses on family, and I think that's really cool. It's something we both share, I think.
That's awesome.
You said you had 2 sons?
I have 2 sons.
Yeah, you have 2 sons.
Yeah.
Andy's working on a 5th child right now.
Yeah, I'm going for 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I come from a family of 6, so.
Well, so I beat you, but not your parents. Your parents are winning.
Yeah.
We're joined by John C. Reilly.
I used to announce for my kids' baseball games when they were in Little League. I had a whole fake character named Ernie Bellavoce.
What?
I'm your announcer, Ernie Bellavoce, here live at Tigers. What is the stadium called here?
Comerica Park.
Comerica Park. 3rd inning is brought to you by your homework. Have you done it lately? I used to make fake drink specials.
Like what?
50-cent Bloody Marys at the concession stand. All the parents on Sunday morning be like, what is that? No, there's no alcohol at the concession stand. Of course not. It's Little League. But I had fake organ music, so I'd be like Nancy Heidelberg on the organ today. Dun, 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 dun. The kids loved it, though, because it was their fantasy, They started telling me, hey, could I have, Lose Yourself as my walk-up music? And I'm like, kid, I don't know if I have time to do everyone's walk-up song, but I'll try.
What other features did Ernie bring into the show?
Just a lot. I would call all the balls and strikes, because there's no one doing that at Little League usually. Oh, another joke I had was, the 3rd inning is brought to you by Steelberry's Athletic Protectors. You're not safe unless you've got Steelberries.
We were sitting right behind the backstop, or where were you?
Above, just like this,
the
same spot, yeah.
Do you want to? This is Colt Keith at the plate. Will you do some play-by-play for us, Ernie?
I don't know the players well enough to really
Colt Keith
do it.
Facing Zach Littell.
Okay, Colt King is on the plate. Doesn't like the looks of that one. I would say his good eye that was way outside of the left. I don't know this pitcher at all.
It's Zach Littell.
Zach Littell. Sounds French. I used to give all the kids, ooh, that was just in there. Come on. That was right. It was just on the other side of the line.
You were saying you used to give all the kids...
Yeah, I give them all nicknames.
Do you have a nickname for Colt Keith? It's a pretty robust name.
Colt, 45, Keith. Slams one to center field. But they've got him. All right, they've got him.
John.
And that'll retire the sides. And that'll retire...
Single so far. Reese Olson. Rays have swung the bats at least a hit every inning so far against him. Well, the Rays going to end this season series here with the Tigers today. Rays took 2 of 3 in Tampa. And if the Rays can hang on and win today, then they will have split the 6 games against the Tigers. It's hit pretty well towards the left field corner, but playable for Veerling. And it's a season series also where the Rays did not see Tarek Skubal.
Yeah,
and they won't have seen Casey Mize this part of the series. They saw him in a pitch well against the Rays in Tampa. And this will be a 13-game hitting streak for Chandler Simpson.
Oh, boy.
Big turnaround first.
I love that. I love that mental approach where that ball's off the bat. And Chandler Simpson is one of those guys. Kevin Kiermaier used to be the same way. You're going to force that outfielder. You've got to keep me from getting to second base because that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to go. Okay, if you stop me, you stop me. But the goal is to get to second base. And if you get lazy out in that outfield for a nanosecond, Chandler Simpson's standing at second base.
That's a big moment, tying Rocco. Hitting streak by a rookie in Rays history. He starts and stops with Kim up. And ball 1.
I saw that note today that, Chandler Simpson tied for second in stolen bases in the American League. And he's only played in 49 of the 92 games
That's
that the
something
Rays
else.
have played.
He is running. It's a ball. and he stole it.
He forces you to have to be perfect. That's it. Forces you to have to be perfect, and there was just no chance there. And like we said earlier, Reese Olson had only given up 3 stolen bases on the season, so he does a nice job of controlling the running game. Chandler challenges him, forces a quick throw from Rogers.
So now, an RBI situation for Kim, and then Walls after him. So Mike gets Simpson to third. See if he tries it. He is going to try it. The throw by Meadows, as you said, he forces you to be perfect.
Yeah, forces you to be perfect. And what the guys end up doing is they end up rushing throws. You know, they're trying to get rid of it quickly anyway, but you end up rushing when it's Chandler Simpson a lot of times.
One would think that he may get that before the All-Star break.
That'd be before this game's over.
You know what? It's not out of the realm. All right, well, we'll see now with Simpson at third and 2 out. Rays need to chip away and get as many runs as they can when they can. And here's Walls.
And I'll tell you the other significance of Chandler doing what he just did. You know,
Pick-off play.
we thought Jose Caballero was down there at third base. Jose gets such an aggressive secondary lead. We've seen teams try to put plays on him all the time because of how aggressive he is out there. No, but Chandler sits getting over to third base right now. You think about that changeup of Reese Olson. A lot of times that ball end up right there, close to the dirt. And that's all you need with the Detroit backup catcher behind the plate is for one of those to get away. And there's your run. Changeup. It's very nasty, but it can also find the dirt. And that could become a quick, wild pitch.
If there's a little seam to run, Chandler will take it. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Taylor Walls. We've mentioned often how when the Rays are going well, there it is, the bottom, boy, great timing. The bottom part of the order drives in runs. Didn't chase, 2-2. Taylor looked very comfortable taking that changeup also.
Third one in a row that he had seen. And that's what, if you Reese Olson, if that's something that he notices, does he all of a sudden try to climb the ladder again? Go back up with that fastball.
In the air to left center field. And caught another fly ball out off the bat of Taylor Walls, and the Rays do not add on. That, and I said, What does it mean in-app perks? And their eyes lit up. So that means something
Oh,
to
it
those
does.
that play Pokemon Go. Line to left. And off the wall. Mangum has to chase the carob. Gleyber Torres with a leadoff double.
Thought maybe he got one there. That ball came off the bat hot. That was a pitch that just caught a little bit too much play. And again, Zach Littell attacks that strike zone. Unfortunately, that ball came back middle. Wanted it middle away. It ran back middle and about halfway up that wall off the padding.
22-game on-base streak now for Gleyber Torres.
You know, we were talking in last night's game, and just marveling might, again, be a little bit too strong, but the fact that he has more walks on the season than strikeouts, that is just, you don't see that very often this deep into a season, and he's never come across as that type of hitter, where you're going to be a guy that does that. There's only a handful in the league that'll do that, year in and year out.
Winsel Perez, the hitter, trying to launch 1-1.
Tried to launch on the wrong pitch. That was a cutter. That's why we call it, or I call it, it's like a hybrid. Most of the time it looks like a cutter. It comes across as a slider. And when he gets on top of it and gets a little bit of tilt, it starts to look like a slider. That's what he did right there.
A dive. Kim keeps it on the infield, which saves a run, but runners at the corners.
Yeah, for the time being, that's absolutely what it does. And now you got to figure out how to pitch out of this jam. And great effort there by Kim. And I think that ball got into the kind of the palm of his glove, and it never made it into the pocket. That's why it popped free off the mound at high bounce. But at least he kept it out.
And now you got Riley Green, the go-ahead run. Coming to the plate, nobody out. First and third, infield back. And 0-2.
Well, he's gone up, down. He took that cutter, slider, whatever, up, got the swing. Riley Green has tweaked his swing a little bit to become more of a launch angle type guy. So he can be beat at times up above the swing on top of the zone. Then he went right with that split down.
He went up.
Yep, trying to change the eye level, trying to speed him up. Maybe he chases that pitch, and you can see the areas in which you can exploit Riley Green's swing. You go up and away, usually with the hard stuff. You go down and off the plate away, a lot of times with a splitter changeup.
2-2.
Yeah, he's shooting for those quadrants up there. Just missed with the last two. Now it's make a pitch time, and you could always go back to that split here, down and off the plate. You've raised his eye level, and you've sped him up with the last two offerings. Zach loves that split.
Wow, he went slider up and in.
Yeah, that's and that's why that comes across and says slider. That's a cutter. That's what a cutter looks like. I have such a hard time with that's not a slider. I know that's a cutter.
All right, we'll see.
But that's why it's kind of a hybrid pitch, because when he gets on top of it, it will look a little bit more like a true slider.
Perez back to the bat. That's Torres at third. After his double to lead off the inning. Unlike you, I'm waiting for that splitter down and away. Let's see where they go.
Where he's sitting up, it doesn't look like that's going to be what they go with.
Well, they went up and it worked.
Yeah. Well, you knew that by the setup of Jansen. When he's set up kind of middle of the plate, middle in, you're not going to throw the split there. That's not where that's going to go. If you're going to throw the split, Jansen's going to sit up away. See, he's kind of middle in. So that's going to be something different, and it's that fastball that kind of runs back across the middle of the plate, but it's up above the zone, and the uppercut swing right there can't grab it.
All right, now you got just as good a power hitter, and Torkelson is the go-ahead run. Double play gets you out of this. Got the elevated strike.
Yeah, boy, he needed that. That's that borderline pitch that if it doesn't go your way, boy, that can hurt. So, but now you're out in front. Now you could try to roll that ground ball double play up, something Zach Littell's been pretty good at doing.
Instead, it's a base hit and a run batted in. Perez will aim for third. Caminero can't hang on.
Well,
base hit Torkelson, 2-1.
They had him. That pitch just stayed out over the plate and had a little bit too much elevation. Maybe that's what he wanted. But if so,
for Detroit. And now he's behind 2-0 to the new All-Star McKinstry. Tigers have tied the game on a base hit by McKinstry. Torkelson will make it to third. The throw goes to second. Safe. 2-2 tied.
same kind of mindset we were talking earlier with Chandler Simpson. McKinstry, that ball off the bat, he said, I'm going to force a Rays outfielder to keep me at first base. And by doing so, you put another runner in scoring position after you've already tied the game, and you take away any chance for a ground ball double play, at least the traditional kind. That ball sharply hit.
And now the infield has to come in with second and third, one out. 4 hits in the inning by the Tigers. And ball 1 to Veerling. Two and 0. Three and 0. Three and 1. And a walk to load the bases. My goodness. They're loaded up. Parker Meadows coming up and no room for him.
And now 2 here tonight, and some other pitches that have been left out over the plate, not gotten to the edges where Littell typically lives.
Around to second, 1. Kim back to first, not in time. Tigers take a 3-2 lead.
That's a do or die play. That's a do-or-die play. Jonathan Aranda's like, getting greedy. Let's get that double play. And everybody did their job. It's just that Parker Meadows able to get up the line. Nice feed there by Aranda. Kim around. And
4 pitches. Or no, he didn't. On a 3-2 count, he walked. His first time, but he had gone 3-0 to him. See if he can stop the damage here. A bunt with 2 outs.
How about that? Well, you know what? Yeah, he kept that in his back pocket for a long time. That's the last thing that anybody on that field is thinking from the Tiger catcher. And everybody playing deep, yeah, but he's not a bunter. Tried to be there.
One ball, one strike. Fouled right off of Jansen, 1-2. Most pitches in an inning by a lot so far by Zach Littell. Four hits and a walk so far by the Tigers. There's strike 3 call. So he's out of it. Tigers send 8 men to the plate and turn a 2-0 deficit into a 3-2 Detroit. Now the Rays are looking up at the Tigers. 3-2 Detroit as we start the 5th. Reese Olson into a lead for the first time today. Rays have threatened every inning, but they only scored in the first. Tigers putting together a 3-run, 4-hit, 8-batter rally to take the lead. Charlie Ronlos said he went.
Change up.
Yep. He went. Nope. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
We tried that backdoor 2-seamer. Start that pitch off the plate away. The hitter gives up on it, and it's the same as the front door 2-seamer to a left-handed hitter. Same pitch.
Tried it again.
Yes, he did. Just missed on both of them. But yeah, that's the same pitch. When a left-hander's in there, that's the front door, two-seamer. Right-handed hitter, the back door, two-seamer. Oof, close. Boy, he's bound and determined to get that pitch to work.
Jansen and then Yandy Diaz and Jonathan Aranda against Olsen. Didn't go on that one, and it was a ball, 3-2.
I'll tell you what, Danny Jansen's putting together quite an at-bat here. Some really difficult takes. But, you know, he comes with that reputation, you know, being able to draw a walk, work a walk. And he's certainly trying to do that here.
And he does.
Wow.
Fine at-bat.
That's an outstanding at-bat. Coming from your 9-hole hitter to lead off an inning after the Tigers take the lead. That's just an outstanding at-bat by Jansen. And the easiest take was the last pitch.
Yeah. All right, so maybe it's a beginning for the Rays. Here's Yandy Diaz for the third time. Well, you get back to the top of the order after your 9-man worked one heck of an at-bat. Let's see if the top guys can do something. 2-1. And you see third time through. It's beginning the third time today for Olsen. Yandy just could not pull the trigger on it. 2-2. Lace to center. Boy, they had him positioned perfectly.
I mean, you're not kidding. That ball off the bat, you thought, okay, that ball was hit hard. Maybe has a chance to move into the gap, but you look up and there's Meadows. You're waiting on it.
Well, the center fielder, Shady Diaz, way over towards right center, and it was like he threw it to him.
Well, you see right here. Well, you did see right there. The exit velocity, 106.5.
Hit it hard.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
I'm not drawing again. But you know where to look.
You're a good artist. All right, now Aranda. Two balls, no strikes. Rays have had base runners every inning against Reese Olsen. And it's 3 balls, no strikes. Last time he went 3-0, got it to 3-1, and then a bullet single to right. He also doubled and scored, hitting it up the alley in right center his first time. Great series so far for Aranda. Big moment here. Right down the middle, 3-1. Three and 2. Aranda looks comfortable taking both of those pitches with Junior Caminero next. Aranda using his timeout. Jansen not really a threat to run, even on 3 and 2. Did he go? Did not. Ball 4. 2 on, 1 out.
Well, let's take a look. Oh,
no,
yeah, not close.
Not really close. All All right, well, Olsen's gotten himself in some trouble. 2 on and 1 out. The Rays need that timely hit.
I'm looking for a little more drama than that.
Uh-huh.
Wanted everybody on the edge of their seat.
Right.
That was a dud.
Yeah. Easy call.
Easy call. Didn't even need to ask.
No. You know, the player can ask, but it's the umpire that gets it going. Mm-hmm. If he doesn't point, then there's no call by the base umpire. Jake Rogers goes out to talk. It's pretty good company. A group of all-stars there with Junior Caminero. Well, this is a moment. You're mentioning with the loss of Brandon. Junior's ahead in the count, 1-0. 2 on, 1 out. Good take. They want Junior to roll into another double play, but he took that one and he's ahead 2-0.
Well, and that's where Junior has to stay disciplined in his approach and try to see something elevated early in the count, especially now that you have the count in your favor. So far, so good, but...
And there's 1, and there's 2. Tigers got just what they needed. Junior does lead the league.
direction. He said, you're kind of trying to battle between your heart and your head about what's smart to do. If I miss 5-6 days, it's much better than 8 weeks like I did last year. So they're playing it safe with Belau, guys.
Thank you, Ryan, and they really need to. He is that important to this lineup.
There's no question about that, and you have to be beyond sure. Because what would the organization do? You run him back out there Saturday or Sunday, and he strains an oblique. You know what I mean? Well, and oh, by the way, if you do give him the 4 more days in Boston, he's got 4 after that.
Yeah.
And now when you get him back, because you need him with a side issue like that, that is in any sport, that's not good. But especially in baseball, when you think about the torque put on the core, when you're talking about pitching, hitting, whatever it may be, and how violent, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but Brandon Lau's swing is violent. I mean, he's quiet at the plate, but he takes a big hack. I mean, he's a power guy. And so he takes a big hack. And if that's not 100%, you don't run him back out there. Not now.
Off the bat of Keith to left for Mangum on 1 out. All right, what about this, PA? I don't know if this plays a role or not, but if he is not able to play through the series against Boston, can he play? Should he play in the All-Star game? As much as he may want to.
No, he should go.
Yeah.
He should go. Get the wave and the family and have a wonderful time. But yeah, you can't. If you're not going to play in Boston, there's no way you're going to play in an exhibition game. No chance.
Yeah, they need him post All-Star break.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And I'm sure it would be very disappointing. He was injured, could not participate the first time that he was elected to an All-Star team.
But at least he's smart about it. He's saying it's a battle between your head and your heart, but I'd rather be a little too cautious up front and come back ready to go. And that is so important. It puts the organization in a tough spot.
Yeah.
Because you want him back out there. Sure. And but you also see the breaks coming up. Is it worth the risk? I guess, the boots on the ground down there. Joe Benj and his staff, they know where Brandon is with this injury, or not even injury, but this soreness. And when he's going to be able to go out there and go full bore again, and so finally, when they finally clear him, you can be pretty confident that he is showing no ill effects. You wouldn't send him back out there if he felt even the slightest.
Always, like the policy's always been, as soon as you say you're ready to go, then you still get another day.
Yeah, right.
We got to make really sure. Caminero to shallow left, calling off Kim, and Mangum Jr. makes the catch. That's a nice bounce back inning for Littell. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the 6th. Georgia Tech, Woodstock High School in Georgia.
Pretty good numbers in his 43 innings at ERA of 2.72. An interesting setup there too with the delivery, kind of like he just swings the hips a little bit, start to build some momentum before he heading towards home plate. Two-seam fastball, 52% of the time, averaging 92.
Josh couldn't hold back. 1 ball, 1 strike. That is unique.
It is. I've never seen that. There's just like a little dance going out there on the mound, trying to build some rhythm before delivering that ball to home plate. I mean, I guess whatever it takes to get you legally into your best throwing position, go for it. But I have never seen this before.
Luis Garcia of the Astros used to do something like that. Remember he'd rock the baby, they called it? But this is a little more understated. 2-1 to count to low.
It is interesting. Take a look right here. Little step, and then he gets those arms moving. That is just all building rhythm.
Yeah.
And then, almost like he starts to move the glove and the hand forward and then backward, almost pushing the hand out of the glove to get it up into the throwing position.
Something he can't do if there's a man on, but with the base is empty, you can do almost whatever you want. Foul away, 2-2. There he is.
Right there, rock, and then get it up and pull it out and go.
Three and 2. Well, I can't help but think that the Rays should or could have more than just the 2 runs today. Reese Olson only struck out 1 batter, which is usually a sign that the Rays were seeing him okay. Had all kind of men on base against him. Cloud goes down. And now the Tigers are into that bullpen where they can match up with the best of them.
Well, true, except inning, whatever, however you're going to break it up, even if it's just 3, they all have to be on point. You're only up a run.
Yeah.
So one little hiccup and the Rays can capitalize. So that's the trouble with sometimes. That's why it was so hard. I remember Kurt Schilling always used to talk about guys that were 5 and dive type pitchers. It's hard for them to get to get a record. To get wins and all, because you force the bullpen to have to cover 12 outs. So when you leave and you're up 2-1 or 3-2, bullpen has to be perfect for 4 innings, or you're not going to get that W. You just don't get the decisions.
Well, Mangum batting right-handed for the first time. Two and 1. Chase Lee, young right-hander. Looks like he'd be next. Rays hit Herter hard at home during the series against the Tigers at Steinbrenner Field. Now it's 3-1. In fact, they brought him in. He could not get it out. Little flare to right. Not even a flare. More like a little seeing eye base hit. Mangum, 2 hits today.
Just north of a squib.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle there.
But that's what Jake Mangum does. He does that from the left side. He does that from the right side. Tough pitch here by Herter, but look how he stays inside of it. He just fights that pitch off and shoots it the other way. That's just a great job of bat control.
All right, now you got the tying run at first. The batter is Chandler Simpson. Well, Herter has fallen behind all 3 hitters he's faced. One ball, 1 strike. Chandler extending his hitting streak to 13 in a row with a base hit last time and stole a base. There goes Mangum. Well, almost like a pitch out, but it was a terrible pitch out if that's what it was. So it was a steal for Mangum.
That was just a pitch that was yanked because that's down. If you want to get a pitch out, then that was the worst pitch out I've seen in the history of the game because Herter, you're going to throw a pitch out up where your catcher can be out of his stance and making a play. That's a breaking ball.
Is that a cross-up on a pitch-out? Like he didn't know?
No.
I mean, the way Rodgers was popping out there.
That's a good point because that angle showed it especially.
Chandler can't quite get there. Mangum has to hold it second.
But I would think that with the pitch com, it would say pitch out.
Yeah.
And not slider or sweeper because that's what he threw.
No.
So maybe that would qualify as the worst pitch out I've ever seen.
We may have just seen history.
That's probably why he's coming out of the game.
Six in a row all year. More than half the league has a 6-game winning streak this year, not the Tigers.
Not the team with the best record in
Exactly.
baseball. That makes sense. Just another baseball stat.
That's it. Here's Chase Lee, the 26-year-old. Side armor, straightaway center, and over the head of Meadows to tie the game. Mangum scores, Kim to second. The Rays have come back. It's 3-3.
What a great job by Ha-Sung Kim to stay through the middle of the field and through the middle of that baseball. Boy, did he hammer that ball out in front. Watch him just drive that great high finish, great extension, and that's what allowed for all of that carry on that ball off the bat. The finish of that swing, that ball just would not come down and could not be tracked down.
So now you got the go-ahead run at second, 2 outs. And here's Taylor Walls.
If that swing is cut off a half inch and the finish isn't completely where it was, Meadows tracks that down, and that's an out. But he got through that baseball and finished that swing strong, and that ball just took off.
It's 0-2 to Walls. The more we see Kim, too, been looking at some of his highlights with San Diego and some of his overall career marks, he's got some pop in the bat.
Right there. Yeah. It shows you.
Pass runner at second, 2 down. And Walls with a flare to left. They are going to send him. Williams sending Kim to the plate. The throw by Vierling, not in time. And the Rays have taken the lead.
How about Taylor Walls? We were just talking about it. Line drives. That's what he can do all day long. I know it's a lot easier said than done, but Taylor Walls, a great job right here. Gets an opportunity, gets on top of that pitch, and lines it the other way. Using the other field, that's always a good play, too. A lot of base hits on the other side of that field.
Boy, as shallow as Vierling was, that's an aggressive send, but with a fast runner, he would have taken a perfect throw.
Threw a 2-seam changeup to the plate.
And now Jansen into the corner and left. Fair or foul, it's off the wall. Walls will score. Jansen trying for second, and he's there with a double. And the bottom of the Rays order once again coming through. It's 5-3 Rays.
some boo birds here in Detroit.
How dare they?
I know, expectations way too high. But you know what? I think it's just because this has all happened so quickly, just within a handful of pitches. Comes right in. There's another one. That was a breaking ball that they're trying to get to the outer part of the plate. That just spins, stays middle. Jansen right down the line. He goes. And a quick barrage here by the bottom of this Rays lineup have given them a lead.
The 7, 8, 9 hitters once again. And the Rays have rebuilt the 2-run lead. They had a 2-0 lead for a while. Now they're up 5-3. Him a double, Walls a 2-strike single, and then Jansen a double. 3-run inning for the Rays, and they're not done yet. Here's Yandy Diaz. Fouled away, it's 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Well, like you were saying, B.A., it takes all those pitchers out of the bullpen to be on point.
That's it. All you need is one hiccup, and that's exactly what happened with the Tigers here and A.J. Hinch. And so,
boy, the way we've seen the Tigers come back, keep adding on. There's Kelly the righty and Clevenger the lefty. Might Littell be done after 5? That's the question. 3-2 to Diaz. It's a busy scorecard here in the 6th. And a base hit up the middle for Yandy Diaz. Jansen is around third, and he will score without a throw. And the Rays are up 6-3 in Detroit. And I'd say that Tiger bullpen has had the hiccup.
They certainly have. I mean, 4 straight hits, one after the other, and all of them well struck. There's nothing cheap about any of them. And they just keep circling the bases. Brady Williams is going to have to ice down that shoulder when this half inning's over.
4 2-out runs by the Rays, and here's a Rondo. Yandy Diaz with his first hit, run batted in today. One and one. The Tigers got leave from the Rangers at the deadline last year when they sent Andrew Chafin to Texas. Well, the Rays have pounded in this inning. And 2 balls and a strike. Tigers get their pen back up. Really curious with the double barrel action for the Rays if Littell will turn it over. In the air to left, fading, however. Fan reached for it. That ball landed on the field. It was foul.
Yeah, that was interesting if that fan's hand got in the way of Veerling making that catch, but it's certainly a ball that you could have caught. Let's take a look.
It landed on the field.
Did you see Veerling looked at the wall?
Yeah.
He looked at the wall, wanted no part of that wall, and didn't even re-engage with the baseball as it fell in.
Three and 2 to Aranda. Diaz will be running at first. That's some nasty late movement, and Aranda hangs in there. Diaz will be going again from first base. The 3-2 pitch. That's right to Torkelson, who will take it and end the inning. But the Rays, bottom of the order, really delivers. Yandy Diaz capped it off.
Single 3 or 4 total runs for the Rays, who have now built a big lead in Detroit, trying to get that one win before they head to Beantown. Andy?
All right. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Grant. Meantime, Taylor Walls just took a hit away from Riley Green.
That was we saw him make the play up the middle to the backhand side. That was to the glove side, deep in the hole. Another smooth play by Taylor Walls. But what do you expect? I mean, I think wherever you play him, you're going to get that kind of defense.
1 out on 1 pitch.
That ball was behind him. That ball was actually by his body.
The way he can slide and pivot like on his knee. It's beautiful.
It really is. It's the body control.
Yeah.
He's a tremendous athlete, and he's got tremendous body control. I mean, just...
And makes it look like ho-hum.
Yeah, I was going to say gymnast-like.
Yeah,
you just stick the landing.
That's a good comparison. I bet he could have been a good gymnast. Thank goodness he's playing baseball instead.
I don't think gymnasts would have been in his crosshairs.
No, probably not.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nope. 1-2 the count here to Torkelson. Well, the Tigers had their 3-run inning in the 4th. Rays answered with a 4-run inning in the 6th. Give a little life here back to Zach Littell. He's got a little run support. And he strikes out Torkelson.
How about that? Nothing tricky about it. Had him set up for it, but at 91 miles per hour, the confidence that Littell has, I'm just going to take this 4-seamer, top of the zone, and I've got confidence that I'm going to get a good result. Maybe a pop-up, maybe the strikeout. But regardless, I mean, that's what we talk about, a pitcher with guts. To take 91, that type of hitter, and just say, here, what are you going to do with it? And
that's a fair ball by McKinstry. Could do no wrong today. And he'll slide into second with a 2-out double. Second double of the day for Zach McKinstry.
Well, it was not off to the greatest of starts defensively for McKinstry, but he certainly is swinging the bat well and hit this ball sharply. That was just a split that got yanked down and in, and Aranda.
Please do not get in my way. You cannot drive in my lane.
Normally getting into the 7th inning, but still had to battle today, had a couple of walks. That you don't see that from him, but he limited the damage, and now needs a little help from the bullpen here to get out of this inning.
You know, you could say, well, could he have gotten one more batter? This would be his last start until after the All-Star break. But Kevin Cash wants to bring in Kelly against the right-hander Veerling. And he should get him. With a little flare. Walls, no problem. Ends up being the right move. Kelly gets his man. And we're done with 6. The Rays lead by 3.
Adrenaline rushes is numbing the pain. I'm too competitive. I like the narrative. I don't know best in the league. Who you comparing with? That isn't competitive. Top of the throne, it is me. How you moving slow when it's speed? I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the fire. Been bringing the fire. I just been bringing the fire. And they can't stop me. They know that I'm bringing the. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I do not fear not one of y'all. They thought I was underdog. I did not fear not one of y'all. I'm too competitive. I like the narrative. I don't know best in the league. Who you comparing with? That isn't competitive. Top of the throne, it is me. How you moving slow when it's speed? I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the bringing the fire. We're bringing the fire. And they can't stop me. We're bringing the fire. We're bringing the fire. And they can't stop me. They know that I'm bringing the.
And then catch the 95th Major League Baseball All-Star Game presented by MasterCard the next day, July 15th at 7 on Fox. And that game could also be starring Junior Caminero. And he gets into deep left field. Let home run derby begin. And the Rays lead 7-3 on number 22 by Caminero. On the week he turns 22, he just hit number 22. And the Rays lead grows to 7-3. No doubter by Junior.
No, just an absolute hanger, and that allowed Junior Caminero to get fully extended with his swing. That ball actually ends up on the outer part of the plate, but Caminero gets out around it, and an absolute no-doubt bomb into left field. I think he was pretty sure it was out, don't you think?
I think so. At some point, you got to start jogging. 7-3 Rays. New pitcher coming in for Detroit.
That ball's going to travel.
Meanwhile, the one-time Ray Dietrich Enns gets an out on one pitch. How about that? You know, it's such an interesting time. You do something, you go back, watch it right back.
Oh, yeah. It's so different. Instant feedback.
Ties Riley Green.
How about the drop-off between, Cal Raleigh at 36, Judge 34, and then there's Junior at 22, right there with Riley Green, featured in this series.
Here's Dietrich Enns, pitch for the Rays for a brief time in 2021. He's gone to Korea and come back. Now on the best team in the game, record-wise. He's with the Twins. Well, he was with the Twins in 17. Didn't make it back to the majors until 21 with the Rays. Went to Korea for a bunch of 3 years and back in the major leagues this year. Quite a journey for Dietrich Enns, 34-year-old left-hander. Credit Mangum with getting last innings rally started. Tigers bullpen button hasn't worked so well today from A.J. Hinch. It worked beautifully the first 2 days. Well, that's just the thing, right? I mean, the manager looks great when it works and looks bad when it doesn't work.
Well, and again, you're asking an awful lot trying to get those 4 innings worth of outs. It only takes, one guy to have things go south. That's exactly what happened with Lee.
About that, too, like, I was thinking, well, why wouldn't Kevin just leave in Littell to face Vierling? But Kevin is tremendous at not running away from his guys when they're struggling. Puts them right back into that spot. Kelly gets the last out. Now he feels good as he tries to turn this bullpen back around. They've all, not all, but many of them hit a rut right at the same time. And that makes it, I would think, rather scary for a manager to push that bullpen button. But Kevin is fearless when it comes to that. I think that's in part what makes him such a good manager. You start running away from your guys, and then everybody loses confidence.
Yeah, and confidence is everything coming out of the bullpen. I mean, really, you because you're going to be out there for a limited time. Some guys, they know they're going to be out there for an inning. Maybe you're going to go out there an inning plus, but it's not going to be for very long. And so you don't have a lot of time to settle into the game. You have to come out perform.
Yeah.
And so there's a certain amount of pressure that you feel. I can't ease my way into a game like a starter. I got to go out there, and if this is the part of the order they want me on, boom, 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 and I'm out. I mean, that's you need a heavy dose of confidence to be able to do that night in and night out.
It's a hair on fire kind of job.
It is. My first real opportunity of pitching out of the bullpen was in 1997 when I was with Cleveland, and they added me to the roster in the ALCS against Baltimore. And I remember vividly Mike Hargrove called me into his office and he said, "Hey, look, I have no idea how I'm going to use you. Be ready from the first pitch." And at first couple innings, I'm pacing around, and I remember sitting down next to Eric Plunk, veteran, very, very good reliever. Another base hit for Chandler. What's new? But outstanding, accomplished reliever, and been doing it for a long time. And I sat down next to him, and I'm like, "How do you do this for 162 games?" I'm like, "I'm exhausted. It's the third inning. I'm exhausted." He's like, he taps me on the leg. He's like, "Listen, you'll get into a routine. You'll be fine. You'll learn how you're going to be, on and on and on." Just being encouraging. And, and before you know it, you're getting called into a 0-0 game in the bottom of the 10th on the road in Baltimore where, it just, I don't know. It's a hair-on-fire job. There's no question about it. But I loved it. I loved it because every day you'd go to the ballpark like, I may play tonight.
Yeah.
I may play tonight. Whereas a starter, you had your day.
B.A., in knowing you, I'm not making fun here. Knowing you, I would think with the energy you bring, that must have been a tough transition, at least in the beginning.
It was. It was for that first game. I think the best thing that ever happened, and we actually lost game 1 of that series.
Chandler's in a pickle, and he's out of the baseline. So that'll do it. We'll chat more about this when we get back. But Junior And Kevin Kelly came on to get Vierling to get out of the sixth, leaving a man in scoring position, finishing off the line for Littell. See if this Rays bullpen can get themselves a little more back in order to where they were through most of this season. 0-2 to Meadows.
That's the thing I think that's been frustrating, around the team is, during the course of a season, guys out in the bullpen, they're not going to be perfect all year. There's going to be a stretch of a little bit of struggle here and there, an outing here or there that's not going to go well. The problem is it's been a number of different guys, and all at the same time.
Yeah.
So it gets magnified, and deservedly so. But these guys, they all have track records. They've all done it in big spots for a long period of time, and so that it's gonna even out. And they're going to get the ship righted. I don't think there's any question about that.
And Kelly strikes out Meadows, 1 gone.
How about the velocity? At 94 miles per hour, when you think about the extension that Kelly gets from his release point and arm angle, watch the late movement on this pitch. And that's at 94 miles per hour. It just takes off to the arm side. Meadows, you just can't reach it.
It's not an easy AB there for a righty or a lefty.
That's an unhittable pitch.
It really is.
And that is too. And it doesn't get called. Very easily could have.
1-0 to Rogers. One ball, one strike. One thing we haven't discussed, I haven't asked Kevin about this. I'm sure they've thought about it. But now, all right, you're inside of 5 games. Now 4 left to the All-Star break comes. In what order are they going to come out of the rotation after the break? It might depend on if Rasmussen goes to the All-Star game or not.
Mm-hmm.
And, Littell, it had been Pepio, Littell, and Rasmussen, Bradley, and Boz. They could keep it the way they are, the way they have it, or they could, shake it up a little bit.
Yeah, well, you're afforded the luxury to be able to look at what are our best matchups coming out of the break.
There you go.
You know who you play. You know who you play down the road. You Cincinnati, then New York, then you come home for the Dodgers, then you go on that long trip out west, and that's after the initial homestand, which is, I guess, Baltimore and the White Sox. So, yeah, I think it'll be about getting your best matchup. And maybe not for that first game, but certainly for down the road. And you're going to be afforded that luxury to be able to play around with that rotation and get it set up just like you want it moving into that second half.
And a walk to Rogers, who's walked twice today. The added wrinkle to it is that Drew Boyle is here to be piggybacked with Rasmussen, so you got that element to it also on who Ras and Boyle collectively would match up well against. So we'll see. Meantime, you look at the standings there. The Blue Jays have already lost today. They lost their 10-game winning streak. There's Drew Boyle. Blue Jays lost to, of all teams, the White Sox today. So that helped out the Rays. If the Rays hold on, they gain a game.
2-1.
There it is.
Yeah, I saw that Toronto had gotten off to a 1-0 lead early, and I guess that was it. Wow.
Blue Jays' longest winning streak in 10 years comes to an end. There's Mariners-Yankees getting underway. And the Bronx Yankees blew them out yesterday, even though Cal Raleigh hit his 36th.
I think that's one of the better stories.
Oh.
Switch hitting catcher with 36 is, well.
Now we got a base hit for Colt Keith. And runners at the corners for Detroit. They just keep coming. Yeah, the conversation around baseball these days, who would you vote for MVP, Judge or Raleigh? As we see Keith do what he just did. I think I might lean towards Cal Raleigh.
What? Because Judge has kind of monopolized the market?
Yeah, it's like an Ohtani thing in the American League.
Well, you think about what Judge is doing with the home runs, but then the average on top of it. I mean,
amazing.
It is. It really is. But a catch.
Getting all loose. Rays were down 3-2. Come, pardon the pun, here in Detroit, roaring back against the Tigers. But now Detroit, first and third, one away. Two and 0. Manny Rodriguez is getting closer. Pitched yesterday for the Durham Bulls. I thought I heard them say he may pitch one more time. Don't know if he'll be back before the break or not. But he's a key member to this Rays bullpen too. Pumped him up. Walls and Aranda. It's Aranda for the second out. Rogers is coming home and then goes back. Boy, that was a pretty good deke by the catcher running from third.
Well, first of all, I think that everybody's figuring that Taylor Walls with maybe a little bit better of an angle is going to override Aranda, but Aranda's calling it. He's got it set. Taylor, you can see him like piggybacking Aranda, and then Aranda realizing that there was a bluff. Nice, strong, accurate throw right to the plate.
All right, so now it'll be Garrett Clevenger to face Winstel Perez or with the lefty Clevenger on to work. First and third, two out. And he missed. It's 2-0. Jones, pretty good bat off the bench. 316 hitter. It's Rogers at third base, Keith at first. There's a beautiful slider. 2-1.
Well, he's got an outstanding slider, and he's got a really good fastball at 97 miles per hour on average. A lot of movement to it. Just his release point, the fact that a lot of two-seamers to go along with that slider. It's just being around the zone.
But now it's 3-1.
Yeah, and that's listen, for Garrett Clevenger, when he gets into trouble, most of the time he gets himself into trouble. Teams just don't sit back and hit him hard. They just don't.
Got to throw strikes. It's 3-1. And he walked in to bring up Riley Green. Boy, what more could the Tigers want? Tying run coming up. Tilting point of the game, one way or the other, right here. Clevenger against the All-Star green. And no room for him. At the top of the zone, 0-1. Oh, he got the corner, and it's 1-2.
How about it?
Friendly call.
Yep, and that is a huge pitch because going from 1-2, potentially 2-1, that's a huge swing, either in a hitter's favor or obviously in this case in Garrett's favor.
Speaking of huge swing, Riley Green does that and misses, and Clevenger gets out of the jam with the Tigers leaving the bases loaded. Take a 7-3 lead here to the 8th. Sung Kim, an enormous game-tying double back in the 6th inning. And it's been all Rays ever since. 4 runs in the 6th, another in the 7th. And then the relief corps getting out of a jam in the home 7th. The new right fielder is Jahmai Jones, and he gets the putout.
Well, let's go back to the last at-bat. Garrett Clevenger gets strike 1 here. Base. Two-one count, more likely he's going to come back with a fastball somewhere. But 1-2, now's the time to rip one off, and he took him down.
Did he ever? See if Clevenger comes back out for the 8th or not. Still 6 outs to go. Walls into left field. It's a base hit. And he's got 2 hits on the day.
That ball got in just a little bit, it looked like.
It's one of those ones, it's better that you don't hit it quite
That's
as
right,
hard.
yeah. You don't mind getting semi-jammed right there. It falls in for a hit.
Well, here's Danny Jansen. I got to go back and do some homework because Jansen's got the mustache coming in. He hasn't had that all year. I remember, I think it was when he was with the Blue Jays.
Mm-hmm.
He shaved a mustache off in between at bats during a game. and it got himself going, as I recall. I got to find that. I promise by Jansen's next start, which may be tomorrow,
right,
I'm going to look that up. and it reminds me to ask him about it.
Well, that just goes to show you in this game, the superstition, the routines. You hear those stories all the time about different things that guys will continue to do because they're on a hot streak or continue not to do.
But if you're a catcher, too, you don't really have much time. He must have gone back when his team was batting the Blue Jays and shaved it while they were hitting because you can't do it when they're on defense.
No, got to make it quick.
I love that piece of video. Look at Jansen into the corner once again.
Okay. Good distance.
It's a pretty good caterpillar he's got up there.
Just hooked it. He's no Jake Rogers. But
no, not many are.
No. It's like a walrus.
Yeah. I'm kind of jealous, to be honest.
Really?
I'd love to be able to do. You could do that. I don't think I'm man enough.
No, listen. I keep the beard going. It's just to prove to myself that I can grow hair somewhere.
You can.
Yeah.
And that's a mustache by design. The rest of that is pretty clean shaven. Well, he got him. Jansen retired. He had a big RBI double his last time. And 2 men out in the 8th. Maybe time to go shave off that stash.
Can't do that, not before the story.
No, we didn't have time.
Actually, that would become the story.
Yes. Yandy Diaz capped off the 4-run 6th inning with the base hit run batted in. That goes Walls. Look at that, #1 since June 1st in the American League. Walls is running, and the throw does not get a ball got away anyway. 3rd steal of the day by the Rays.
Getting that running game going once again. We were talking about how versatile this offense can be. This is one of the aspects that they're very good at. They've got a number of different guys in the lineup with stolen bases and that are comfortable going. Steal at a high percentage, success percentage.
Now a chance to get another run in with the right man at the plate. Hmm. 2-2.
Not going to miss that very often.
No.
Not going to miss that very often. Yandy Diaz does such a great job of controlling the strike zone and swinging at strikes in a 92-mile-an-hour heater, catching that much plate. He does not miss that.
That's a former Tiger, Mason Engler, warming. Fouled away. In the air to right. Yeah, it is room for Jones, and he makes the catch. Ruled a fair ball, and the Rays leave a runner at second. Rays have a 7-3 lead. 6.
And that is something that you've heard Chandler repeat time and time again here, especially during this hitting streak. And it's a message that the Rays delivered to him when he went back down to Durham and had that demotion coming back up here. Now, we've seen that streak continue here, 13 straight games that he's had with a hit. Rays hitting coach Chad Mottola talks about how he stays true to who he is in his DNA as a hitter, which has been really big for Chandler Simpson. Doesn't try to do too much, but it's been focusing on getting the pitches that he's looking for earlier on in at-bats, especially the fastball, and trying to hit line drives to be able to apply his speed, which we've seen him do here time and time again. It's pretty surreal, Mottola told me. He's not waiting around for pitches. He's trying to keep it simple, move the ball forward, create chaos on the bases. You know, Simpson said that tough conversation, it really helped him in AAA to take those results here to the big leagues. He says, I'm proud of the work that I've done. I've kept my head down. I've worked through the criticism, and it's paying off. You saw him make the play there in center field, too.
Yes, he did. Thank you, Ryan. And I'll tell you what, like BA was saying, too, with the stolen bases, you know, Ryan said he didn't have pop, and that's true, and he knows that, but he turns singles into doubles, so he gets to scoring position, just does it a different way.
He does it a different way, and I'll tell you something else. He affects the game even when he doesn't run, because pitchers are on high alert when he's on base. And so all of a sudden, maybe their focus gets a little bit divided between first base and home plate, and without him even running, a mistake is made on a pitch to the hitter, who all of a sudden now has a pitch that he can drive. And so that's, you know, he's going to steal his fair share of bags, and he's going to create a lot of havoc on the base paths, but he doesn't even have to run, and he can still affect the game.
I think Chandler, the more success he has, will help generate a wave of players like him, you know, afterwards. Guys that may lean into their own skills instead of trying to be something else.
Yeah, why not? It's being rewarded once again.
Yes.
You know, it's one of those market inefficiencies that people are now, you know, teams are looking at players like Chandler Simpson and Jake Mangum and said there is a certain degree of value in those guys and what they bring to the team and what they bring, you know, the energy that they bring, the spark that both of them have brought when they were brought to the big leagues, and the way that they can affect the game in, you know, a many different ways. Just tremendous athletes who are good baseball players.
I think when the story of this season is written by the Rays, and well, to this point, it's the injuries to Palacios and DeLuca and Josh Lowe opened up opportunities for other players. Now we hope that Palacios, DeLuca get back as soon as they can, but I don't know if Mangum or Chandler would have been here by now without those opportunities. It's too bad it comes at the expense of an injured player, but that is the nature of this business.
It is, and that's why next man up. That's what is preached in every sport when there are injuries. Now, you have to have depth, though, and that's what the teams that have high expectations and are looking to play into October, deep into October, and have their sights set on winning a championship. That's what they do in the offseason. They build depth, and certainly the Rays have done that.
Mason Englert, the former Tiger, gets 3 outs. He might try to get 3 more in a bit.
Him here with a deep fence.
That's how you know it's a pretty legit shot.
That's right.
Junior will hit second in this inning. It's Aranda Caminero and then Josh Lowe. Good looking downhill delivery there by Dietrich Gens. It's 0-2. Aranda on base 3 more times today. They've used Ens as a starter, so there's really no end in sight for him at this point, fully stretched out. And another base hit for Aranda. On base 4 times this afternoon, which I guess is now evening.
Let's see exactly where this pitch was. Well, they wanted it down and away. It ended up moving back down, middle, down, and in, and he just swats it. Just swats it into right field. He just has been handling everything, too. You think about, can handle the fastball, breaking balls, okay. The change-up right there, able to go and get it. Handle all the pitch types. Use the whole field. Have the year that he's having.
That's how you get close to 100 hits. Yandy's already eclipsed the 100-hit mark. Aranda, I'm going to look it up real quick. It's got to be close. Ruled inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, 3. Yeah, he's got 99 hits now. Aranda at 99. Yandy at 101 hits. But Caminero leads the group in homers and runs batted in. That's going to go out the play. Tell you what, when Junior hit that double play in the 5th inning, it felt a little bit like a here we go again moment. And the Rays had a couple on and one out, and he was ahead 2-0, but then the game flipped. Rays scoring 4 in the 6th, another in the 7th, thanks to Junior's homer. Blew that by him.
Well, he kept it close to him. That was on the inner half, and that's where the bat has to be really quick. And we know that Caminero has the second fastest bat in Major League Baseball, but even he couldn't catch that one. Well placed and executed there by Enns.
Second strikeout for Dietrich Enns, and now Josh Lowe. Well, 8 of the 9 players in the lineup today for the Rays have reached base. Josh, the only one without, although he did drive in a run. In fact, the first run of the day back in the first inning. Flared foul, and it's 0-2. Well, Pete Fairbanks is loosening. Looks like he's going to get this bottom of the ninth. Hasn't had a whole lot of work lately during this 3-8 run by the Rays. Certainly played a big role in Sunday's win in Minnesota. He's going to take a 4-run lead, at least a 4-run lead, into the bottom of the ninth. And Josh Lowe finds himself on base. Aranda's going to dig for third and be held. A double for Josh Lowe, and now everybody's gotten on today. Second and third with only one out and a chance to add more.
Boy, did the Rays need one of these games offensively. Yes. You know, before they go into Boston, that's going to be a tough series. Boston's been playing well. They had closed to within a game of a wild card spot. And so before that big 4-game series, having one of those games where everybody's contributing, that's been kind of the theme. When they were on that hot streak, 25-9 you were talking about, it was 1 through 9 in the lineup, was contributing pretty regularly. And now you're seeing that again here today. And not done yet.
Not done yet. Aranda at third, Lowe at second, 1 out. And Field's going to come in for the Tigers. And here's Mangum. Got a big day offensively. Helped them out there. 0-1.
He's like, well, that's why we get 3 of them. I gave you one. Gave you 1 strike. Okay, that's fine. Other 2 are mine.
The way he swings, he might actually be able to do something with that pitch.
Yeah, that's the thing. 0-2. He can manipulate the bat as well as anybody. Forget with the Rays in the league. I mean, we've seen him take some swings that you're just not going to see other guys be able to take.
Very creative. As creative a hitter as I can remember.
Yep. All in the name of just making sure that I put the ball in play. Something good can happen.
Pumps this one up. This might stay in play. And there are 2 down. Second and third, 2 away. And now an RBI situation for Chandler Simpson. Today's also worked out in the fashion that Kevin Cash talking about having Mangum and Simpson back-to-back in the lower half of the order, setting things up for the bottom part of the order. It's like having a couple of leadoff type hitters down there to set the table. Well, not going to work this time as Enns gets out of it. Okay, it's a 4-run lead for the Rays. They need 3 outs, and Pete overall 1 for 12 in the series. So credit to the Rays pitchers for getting him. Trey Sweeney will be on deck to bat for Rogers. Meantime, it's Parker Meadows to start it against Pete Fairbanks. Non-save situation. 3 outs to get. At 100.
How about that? That might be the best fastball that we've seen from Fairbanks this year. That ball just absolutely burrowed its way through the zone at 100 miles an hour. Well, you get that going with that slider and then change up on top of it that he's using more frequently. That's becoming an actual real weapon for him.
Without a doubt. You know, Pete restored order in that game Sunday in Minnesota. Looked like things were falling apart. The bullpen was struggling. But he got the Rays to the 9th and then through the 9th. Really an anchor in that bullpen. Stays 0-2 to Meadows. There are times, too, that Rays want to make sure he has the right amount of work. So, perfect day, hasn't pitched much. 4-run lead, not a save situation, but good to get him an inning. Try to slam the door on this series. 1-2.
And you hope that Fairbanks, and I'm not just talking about Pete, but closers in general, treat it like a save situation. Because how many times do you see a closer come into a game where it's not a save situation and things don't go like they normally do?
Foul away. Boy, Meadows catching up to 100. Not even catching up necessarily, but just spoiling them off.
And Pete showing that really good fastball here this evening.
You know, even with the great Mariano Rivera, the only times that the Rays could ever really get to him might be in an extra inning situation, a 10th inning, tight spot, but not a save spot. And it shouldn't be different, but somehow it is. And now it's 2-2. And you don't want Pete to get overworked here because they might need him tomorrow in Boston. No off days till the break. The Rays can hold on here. They'd love to get some sort of traction again, momentum before Sunday when they get 4 days off. The 2-2 pitch. He finally got him. What a bender. 1 away.
That slider that is featured by Fairbanks, because of his release point, it gets so much depth. It looks like a very hard curveball. That looks more curveball than slider.
Yes, it does.
And at times it'll even be bigger than that. But that is just beautifully executed, completely locking up Meadows.
2 outs to go. Now Trey Sweeney pinch hits for Jake Rogers. If the Rays can hold on here, then they end up splitting the 6 games this year with the first place Tigers, which all in all is not bad. Two and 0. To left field, the Rays are an out away. 1 more to go. And now the top of the order, Colt Keith with the Rays 1 out from Boston. And an out away from gaining ground. Rays would get to 4 out, with the Blue Jays having lost to the White Sox already today. $22,019 enduring the change of game time today. And showing up to see the Tigers, who are about to be denied their 60th win if the Rays can get 1 more out.
And keeping the streak alive of not ever winning 6 games in a row yet.
That's right. Now, they've won 5 in a row a bunch of times.
Right. But not getting to the 6th. That's the Achilles heel. I don't think any team with the best record of baseball, though, is going to complain much.
Nope. I think it's amazing that more than half the league, 18 of the 30 teams, have a 6-game winning streak this year, but not the best team. You never know in this game. Dodgers have lost 6 in a row. I mean, it's just the ebb and the flow.
Yep. I mean, baseball, listen, you play 162 games of anything, and there are going to be strange little streaks that are put together.
Colt Keith, a shoestring attempt, but it's a base hit. Josh Lowe couldn't quite reach. So the Tigers get a base runner.
Josh lamenting.
Yeah.
Just a couple of inches. Pretty good trap, though.
Didn't let it get by him.
No, it did not. This ball had some topspin to it. Oh, just off the turf. That close.
Zach Littell would be the winning pitcher over Chase Lee if they can get one more out. Off of Fairbanks to Walls to Aranda, and the Rays win it in Detroit.
How about that scoop by Aranda?
How about it? To end the day, and the Rays salvage one in Detroit and split the 6 games between the two teams, 3 up and 3 down.
Excellent job by Taylor Walls today out at second base, too, and getting picked up here by Aranda. That ball off Pete Fairbanks, that forces Walls over to familiar territory over the shortstop side of second base, and he's able to get that throw going, and nice stretch and scoop by Aranda to finish this baby off. Well, let's take a look at our Chevy plays of the game. Let's go back to the 6th inning, and we